I'm a professional mathematician, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you the step-by-step guide to graphing these functions with the absolute value. We're going to make it super intuitive and look at it both graphically and algebraically, and this is as I've taught multiple times at Princeton University, where I received a university-wide faculty teaching award. So let's talk about how to graph this function first and then get to this one, and I'm going to do it in two simple steps. Okay, it's all very simple. We're going to start off with the function y equals 2x minus 4. So once you've mastered it, this is going to be easy, but let's just do it step by step. So y equals 2x minus 4 is an equation of a line, right? So let's just draw that. So I'm just going to draw y equals 2x minus 4 is the equation of a line. So how do I like to draw equations of lines? Well, one thing I like to do is to just figure out what is the x-intercept and the y-intercept and connect the dots. Okay, so for the y-intercept, so this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. The y-intercept is when x is 0. So we just look at when x is 0, then we just plug in to the y equation, and we're just going to get y equals 2 times 0 minus 4, which is just going to equal to negative 4. Okay, so we're just going to draw this here. This is going to be negative 4, and that's pretty nice. Okay, finding the y-intercept is usually pretty straightforward. For the x-intercept, we want to find when y is 0. We want to be nicely on this x-axis. So when y is 0, so you want to set 2x minus 4 is equal to 0, which is just going to be x is equal to 2. Okay, so we're just going to, 2x is equal to 4, divide both sides by 2, x is 2. So we're just going to get this point here. Okay, this is the 2. And if we just draw that equation of a line, we nicely connect the dots. Once you know 2 points on a line, you know the whole line. That's a geometric principle. And you've got this equation here. Now, what happens when you do the absolute value? Okay, this is the part we're waiting for. How do you incorporate the absolute value into things? Now, what the absolute value does, and I'll show this to you algebraically. But basically what it does is it turns a negative number into a positive number. So negative 5, its absolute value is positive 5. But if the number is already positive, it doesn't do anything. So if the number is 4, then the absolute value is 4. Absolute value of negative 2, plus 2. Absolute value of 7, 7. Okay? So all it does is just make negative numbers positive in a sense. But what happens in this case is if we think about what the negative y values are, right? So if you're looking at y equals to absolute value of 2x minus 4, what we want to do is make all the y values non-negative, at least 0, okay? Because that's going to be true for the absolute value. So what we want to look at with the graph of y equals 2x minus 4 is when it's above the x-axis, we just want to keep it as it is. And so I'm just going to draw it like this. So this is when it's above the x-axis, all fine. But as soon as it goes below the x-axis, y becomes negative, the absolute value should make it positive. So it should reflect the graph in the x-axis. Okay, so we're going to get this reflection where the graph is now going to do something like this. Okay, so you see what's happening here is this is going to be a mirror reflection. So without doing any calculations, I can tell you that here we're just going to be plus 4 because here we were at negative 4. For our y-intercept, our new y-intercept is positive 4. So that's going to be our graph of absolute value 2x minus 4. And that looks pretty simple, right? So that's the strategy basically. Reflect in the x-axis when it goes below the x-axis. That's how we do it. Now I'm going to show it to you another way because I like to always show multiple ways of understanding a problem. It's great for practice. Before I show this, please don't forget to leave a like if you're enjoying and benefiting from this content, and subscribe to my channel to always keep you notified. I have math at all levels and topics, and I want to power you through your math education, help you master math in a fun and simple way in short videos, unlike anything done on YouTube. So I want to help as many people as possible, and your engagement and your liking makes a huge difference for that. So let's think about another way of writing the absolute value of 2x minus 4. So the way I like to think about it is what the absolute value does is it gives you the number back if your number is positive or non-negative. Okay, so it's going to just be 2x minus 4 if 2x minus 4 is at least 0. Okay, so if 2x minus 4 is at least 0, it's going to give me 2x minus 4. But if 2x minus 4 is less than 0, it's going to give me the negative of that. So for example, the absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. It's a negative of negative 7. Okay, so in particular, if we have absolute value 2x minus 4, we're going to have negative 2x minus 4. And that's going to be if 2x minus 4 is negative. Okay, so if 2x minus 4 is negative. Now, when is 2x minus 4 positive and when is it negative? You're basically solving an inequality, and we know how to solve that inequality. We can actually see it from the graph too, but this is going to be an algebraic way without visualizing anything, okay? Just to give you an alternative way of looking at it. So 2x minus 4 greater than or equal to 0 is the same as saying 2x is greater than or equal to 4. Add 4 to both sides, doesn't change the inequality. Divide by 2, that's a positive number, so we get x is at least 2. So we see that 2x minus 4 is at least 0. That's the same as saying x is at least 2. And this one's going to be the opposite. It's just going to be the same as saying x is less than 2. Okay, so we can again see that on the graph visually, that the graph of the black line is above the x-axis when x is at least 2, below the x-axis when x is less than 2. But we can write it out here if x is at least 2, if x is less than 2. And then what you can do is you can literally graph 2x minus 4 when x is at least 2. And when x is less than 2, you can graph negative 2x minus 4, which is another line, right? Negative 2x minus 4, you can also say that negative 2x minus 4 is going to equal to negative 2x plus 4. Okay, so you could do the same principle. How do you graph negative 2x plus 4? Find the x-intercept, find the y-intercept, and then connect the dots. Y-intercept is when x is 0, so it's going to be plus 4. X-intercept is again when x is 2, because negative 2 times 2 plus 4 is 0. You can solve that as we did before. You get 2 and literally just connect the dots. So that's another approach to solving this graph, which is purely algebraic, okay, if you don't want to visualize it. But both methods are good, okay? Understand both methods, going to help you a lot in your math journey. I'm going to do one more just to really master the concept, and I'm going to get excited. I'm going to do this one. Let's now do the second equation here, and if you're enjoying my content and you want to support the channel a bit further, please consider checking out the link in the description to my Patreon page. I love making free content and helping as many people as possible power through their math education, but I do everything on my own, so small amounts of support there from a lot of people definitely make a huge difference to help me free up time and energy to produce more content. It's all free content and it helps as many people as possible. It's up to you to decide if you want to support and you're gaining value from the content. I'm putting out the content and then you can choose if you want to support. So check out the link in the description if you'd like to. And I'm just going to get into this equation now and show you how to understand how to graph this. Okay, so we've got y equals absolute value of negative x plus 3. So again, okay, the intuitive way I'm just going to show you, and I'd like you to sort of think about it yourself too, just to kind of make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, so what's step one? So step one I'd always like to do is just to graph minus x plus 3. Okay, just graph minus x plus 3. So what is y equals minus x plus 3? How do we graph y equals minus x plus 3? Equation of the line, find 2 points, connect the dots. So when x is equal to 0, we're going to get y equals 3. Okay, so that's going to be the easy part. That's going to be the y-intercept. So y is going to equal to 3 here. That's when x is equal to 0. And then to find out the x-intercept, that's usually a little trickier sometimes. That's going to be setting y equals 0 when you're nicely on that x-axis. And then you're going to get minus x plus 3 is equal to 0, which is the same as saying that adding x to both sides, we're just going to get that 3 is equal to x. Okay, so we're going to get 3 here. And now we just connect the dots. Okay, so we connect the dots and we're going to get this line, which is y equals negative x plus 3. It's going to be downward slope now. Okay, because that's where we have the negative x. So one thing I'm showing you is that the negative x doesn't make anything complicated. That's the case with math. You know, a lot of this math, they try to make things look harder than they are, but the principles are always the same. So once you've mastered the principles, draw the line and then do the following, which is whenever your line goes below the x-axis, reflect it. Okay, reflect it in the x-axis because the absolute value of minus x plus 3, right? So I'm just going to put it in red because I'm just going to draw this correct graph in red. You're just going to have the same line, right, above the x-axis. And then as soon as you're starting to go below the x-axis, you want to reflect in the x-axis because absolute values are always non-negative. So you're going to take the opposite, the negative of the y value, which is now going to be positive when your y value is negative. So you're just going to go up like this and you're going to get this graph here. Okay, so pretty cool. We're going to get that. And there you have it. So if you want more on the absolute value, okay, I want to help you reinforce your concepts. Try out variations of this and check out 2 videos. Okay, the first video is going to be a sequence of equations, how to solve them with the absolute value. Solving equations with the absolute value made easy for you. And if you really want to get one level up, check out this video here, which is going to be how do you graph the equation of any circle. Doesn't matter what it is. It's a high-level pre-calculus involving quadratic equations. How do you graph circles? You can learn it